Now, earlier I told you also that I did make a mistake. My nephew, who's only 9, we were at a family gathering on Saturday, and late in the day he was playing football, with a bunch of other kids, and some adults were out there, and he came running over to me and said, "Uncle Chris, my arm." And I said, "Get back out there, you scallywag. Come on now. Let's go."
It was a little head rub.
Yeah, and then his parents came out and said, "I saw Will talking to you." And I said, "Yeah, he said he hurt his arm, but I patched it up. Don't worry about it. He's fine." Hand me another.
He's good.
Yeah, he's fine. And his mother said,
"Give me one of the cold ones at the bottom."
Use your bad hand to get it.
His mother said, "He looks like he's in pain playing out there. He's really favoring." I said, "He's fine. Don't worry about it."
Moving it, didn't he?
Broke it in 2 places.
Was he moving it? I mean, when you talked to him,
it was dangling by his side. But he held it up to me, and it didn't look like anything was out of place,
From as best you can tell, Kelly, whereabouts, like between elbow and wrist, did the kid break the bones?
Just above the wrist.
In that whole area.
Right above the wrist. Both bones, the little bone on this side and the radius bone, the ulna and the radius, both fractured. I've seen the X-ray now.
Well, can you not move? Can you move your fingers still then?
Slightly. I didn't ask him to move his
You
fingers.
would know.
I didn't ask him to move his fingers. I said...
You didn't say wiggle your fingers.
I did not. He held it
You
up.
didn't say bend it.
No. And I didn't have my glasses. In fairness to me...
What are you, Velma from Scooby-Doo?
You can't see the big stuff either? Like an arm?
Didn't have. I could see the arm.
What, do you expected to read broken on there? Sorry, the font is too small. Those are readers.
I said, "Get back out there. Come on. Toughen up a little
You
bit."
don't miss it. Kelly man don't miss downs.
That's right. I told him, we're not going to miss any of this.
Play day.
Get out there. Hannah, you've experienced something similar, I guess. Go ahead.
So I was in middle school, and I went sledding at night with my brother's friends. And we were going down a hill. It was a road, not an actual grass hill. So I went down it first, and I went feet first into the curb. Ooh. And I had a crush on my brother's friend, so obviously I wasn't going to cry. I walk up the hill, tell them I'm going to go to bed, I'm tired. So the next day my mom saw it, and she said it was fine. Sent me to school on Monday. I was walking around with a broken ankle all day.
Oh, my goodness.
And finally, she takes me to the doctor, and he said, "Yeah, you have a small break right there."
Oh, no. Oh, no. And did your mom, was she apologetic to you for making you walk around on it for the day?
Well, she says she didn't think it was a big deal. She was shocked. I mean, I guess I made it, so.
I was so darn shocked. When I woke up the next morning, and they said, "Yeah, we had to take him to the emergency room and we were from 10 to 1 a.m. We were
What a drama queen, am I right? No, it's really broke.
So you had already gone to bed.
Oh, God, yes.
And they got up in the middle of the night.
Yes.
In your house.
Yes.
And left.
That's right.
With the alarm, had to undo the alarm, get in their car, go to the hospital. They told no one, and you didn't find out until breakfast?
Yep. That's pretty much the size of it.
Well, the child's moans were keeping him awake.
That's what they said. He came wandering in. Yeah, he came wandering in about 10. They were still, I think, watching TV in the bedroom. And he said, "It really hurts." So they said, "All right, Uncle Chris says it's fine, but let's go off to the emergency room." Now, if they'd asked me, I would have told them,
let him sleep on it.
Yeah. We taking that kid.
He'll be fine tomorrow.
On now. They took him off to the emergency room, and his father says, "We go to see the X-ray." I said, "All right, let me take a look." And then I had my glasses. So once I had my glasses,
now you see it. There it is.
Listen. Also, in fairness to me, clean break, very clean. Not like one.
Not splintered.
Nothing was poking out of it or anything. By the time his mom and dad saw it that night at like 10 o'clock, it was really swollen. And they took a picture of that, too. And I said, "Well, wasn't that swollen when I saw it?" It
was fresh.
It's fresh. And he didn't have, nothing was jabbing through the skin.
Remember, I pretended to go to law school, not medical school.
This thing, I really still feel like I'm not so sure. But The doctor says, yes, it's broken. I can see it on the x-ray.
That kid will never come to you for anything else for the rest of his
No,
life.
look, I just happened to
What
be...
if I ran to you anyway?
Well, his parents were inside, and I was sitting nearby watching the game, with a cold one, saying, you guys get out there and play.
So he ran to the first adult.
Yes. Trusted adult.
And you played the cards you're dealt.
I'm one of the trusted adults.
That's what they teach little kids.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And I am one of those.
Do you know if he's left-handed, right-handed? Will this affect his
Yes, he's right-handed.
writing?
Yes, it's his right hand, and he is right-handed.
Poor kid.
And I told him that. I was like, get back out there.
Like that's probably his mousing hand too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's his game playing hand and everything.
He had trouble with his Nintendo Switch, and they knew it was serious. That's when they said, okay, he's got to go to the emergency room at this point. So they went, by golly. Now, here's what injures most people. This goes along with that. In their house. I know you can guess the number one thing. This is injuries that sends people to the emergency room. What around the house sends you to the emergency room most?
Well, two things jump into my mind. Well, it's the bathtub or the kitchen.
Well, it's the stairs. It's the stairs in the house is the number one thing for both men and women. Over 1 million people went into the emergency room last year after either falling down the stairs or having a problem on the stairs.
Slipping up.
Yeah, slipping up the stairs. That causes the most problems. Bathtub shower, number 4 on the list.
4?
Yes, but that seems like something that would be up there. I mean, it's top 5, but I probably would have gone with that. Bathtub shower is number 4. I slipped on the stairs one time just wearing my stocking feet years ago, and it went down to my butt. And I didn't go to the emergency room or anything, but it's painful.
Did you break your coccyx?
I wouldn't say I broke my coccyx. It was painful for some time. Beds, mattresses, and pillows were number 2.
What?
How?
Causing injuries. I don't know.
Moving
Sex?
them?
Sex injury?
In the bed? With the
I mean,
pillows? How do you hurt yourself with a pillow?
Literally, bed, mattress, pillow.
Yeah.
Number 2 on the
I mean,
list.
maybe
They just group them
moving
all
them.
together.
Yeah. 918,000 people in the emergency room last year after a bed, mattress, or pillow injury.
Yeah, I would think moving them is the only thing you could. When do you
Yeah.
move your bed? Making the bed?
Maybe.
Yeah, changing the sheets.
Maybe it's
I don't get it.
maybe it's a sexual injury. Like you were saying.
Maybe it's like y'all's bed's got numbers on them and stuff. Maybe that's what it is. That
sure
got
do.
something to do with it?
Dave sent your mind racing. Sex injury. Oh, yeah.
He's a 50 and you're a 99, aren't you? What
That's
is it?
one I'm willing to give in on. Oh.
A sex injury. Somebody just said that, I didn't read this whole email yet, but she said that the Sleep Number bed should have a sex number because she likes it at a different...
Your erection keep bumping the sheet as you try to read it. Oh, darn it. Oh, no.
I haven't read the whole thing yet. I haven't gotten through the whole email just yet.
Yeah, lengthy.
Absolutely. Basketballs and bicycles were next on the list, causing the most injuries.
Well, yeah.
Bicycles.
Over knives in the kitchen, over heat in the kitchen. I'm shocked.
Me too.
And I guess people do hurt themselves on bikes, but
Me too.
I would think burns would be up there
Number
from the stove.
Yeah. Well, stove was number 10 on there. But clothing was number 11.
Getting dressed.
I guess you injure yourself somehow with clothing. This was a list by the hospitals put out to the Consumer Product Safety Commission last year, and clothing was up there near the top 10.
Older people putting clothes on and falling over? I don't know what that would be.
I'm not sure either. Now the bathtub's got to be a lot of older people, right? Don't you think? Slipping in the bathtub.
I slip
Biggie
in there
falls.
once. I slip in there once a year.
Well, the older, the infirm.
I've fallen a few times in the shower.
Those that can't move regularly
Yes.
by themselves.
the mobility challenge.
I'm mobile.
Those challenged with mobility. And I
I
wonder,
mean, do you put on a shirt that's right out of the dryer? Too hot?
could be.
That's a nice feeling.
How about a hanger injury?
Maybe,
It's
but
not, are you going to go to the hospital for that? I mean, if the metal
That's emergency room.
what could it do? Poke your
pokes
eye?
you,
It's like 217,000 went to the hospital
Unless you're
last year.
cleaning your ear with it or your belly button. And
More women than men in clothing injuries. And I don't know why, but it might be what you said, the elderly, possibly.
I don't know what that would be. Bras?
Maybe.
Panties?
Underwire?
I help with the panties whenever I can.
An underwire issue. You predicted this, Biggie, at the beginning of the pandemic. You said that now that kids are able to learn online through remote learning, there may be no more snow days. And New York City has just said that next year there will be no snow days.
I mean, it stands to reason, doesn't it?
It does, but you know how I hate fun.
Yeah.
You know how I hate fun.
And you're a school day man.
I am a school day man, but I hate this decision because I just think something about snow days. It's just a part of growing up. It's fun.
I heard the story last week, and yes, the magic of a snow day when you're not expecting it, when you're a little kid. There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
But how much of the country never sees snow? A significant
half,
part, right?
half. What do you say? Half the country?
So they've never experienced this.
Right. That's right. Florida, you would never get a.
No.
Southern California, you'd never get a snow day.
But I bet Florida would get out for
hurricane days.
But you're leaving then.
Yeah, that's about it.
Those are evacuation
you
days.
can't go sledding in a hurricane.
School is not.
But don't you think the magic? I mean, because we're in North Carolina, we get snow days. You know,
and ice days.
Ice, yeah, all those things.
But the Northeast, Upper Midwest, Great Lakes, I mean, they have to have some pretty damn big snows to call school off in the first place.
Because they have fleets of trucks.
But that's New York. New York. So if you get enough of snow in New York for them to cancel school, which they do, I mean, they have done it.
I think you probably have to get over a foot.
But don't you hate? Because don't you think the kids?
I do hate it for
I do. I hate that. I just think here's something that this is.
That was magical.
It was magical. I hate they're robbing the kids that can get those.
They'll get some. They just won't be as frequent.
No. They get no. If it snows, you are in school. You are go online learning, and I hate that.
This was a blackout.
I just hate that.
Brownout.
Power outages would be the only reason that would stop it. That's right. But they have said they'll shift all students immediately to remote learning. When Biggie said that, I said nonsense. That's not happening. It did.
Yeah,
it is.
It is. Yeah.
It is happening. That's
You hate
right.
fun, but you love nostalgia.
Yes, and that's good nostalgia.
Yeah.
You just heard our caller a moment ago.
Hannah.
She broke her ankle
Broken
sledding.
ankle, Hannah.
That's a great thing to remember. She had a crush on her brother's friend, and she refused to admit she had been injured. This is something that
That's
I
America.
like. I know. I really do hate that's happening. This is another one. Biggie, you have coined the term Zoom goof, and here's a teacher.
That's a bad one.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know where this is going.
You know what I'm talking. You think it's a bad Zoom goof? Biggie's enacting it now. If you're watching it on camera, Biggie is doing what happened on the Zoom goof. Do it for Chris Demm. There it is. Now here's what happened.
Gross.
A woman named, this is New York City as well. She teaches at a prep school. Her name's Amanda Fletcher, Spanish teacher. 2 months ago, they're investigating now. While she was teaching her class remotely, many students saw her on camera suckling the nipple of a gentleman friend.
Female suckling the nipple.
That's correct.
Of a gentleman.
time between classes.
How do you say that in Spanish?
What's nipple in Spanish?
I don't know nipple.
What's suckle in Spanish?
Well, milk is leche. I know that.
I used to know suck,
But you did.
I did, but I don't know it anymore. She'd already been in trouble. She eats spaghetti on camera a lot, and you're not supposed to be eating while you're teaching your class.
There's always teachers out there that are.
Yeah. So the special commissioner of investigation for New York schools is looking into what happened, but apparently she didn't know she was on camera, and she kept sucking this man's nipple. And the students noticed and told their parents, so she's going to be in some trouble there.
She couldn't leave her workstation.
No.
So he had to walk to her and
I guess so.
get a little suck on.
Yeah, and everybody saw this. Mm-hmm. This is one of the worst ones we've heard of.
Yeah, this is pretty bad. I mean, of course, the pleasuring yourself is worse.
Agreed.
As we've seen in that.
Agreed.
But this, to me, was just kind of like, ugh.
Yeah. Zoom goof. Big time Zoom goof here.
Oh, yeah.
And she may receive disciplinary action. She may be fired. Currently, she's at prep school, $105,000 a year salary. Pretty good salary for a teacher.
Wow.
$105,000 to teach Spanish at this prep school. And now, because she's suckling this man's nipple, she may lose her job. Is it fireable? Do you think it's fireable?
I think you get a slap on the nipple for it, but that's about it. A tweet, a titty twister.
Purple, nurple.
A little,
Do that again.
That's pretty. This is all about injuries here. This bicycles was on the top 10, by the way, for causing injuries for people at home. These kids, they're teenagers now, and they rode their bicycles in Canada, Alberta, Canada, rode their bicycles into a rattlesnake den, into a nest of rattlesnakes. They say that rattlesnakes have been becoming more and more prevalent because Alberta is building on areas where there are already rattlesnakes, and these kids are like in a neighborhood.
I don't think of Canada and rattlesnakes.
Never. But that's Alberta's out like Calgary, right? That's out west.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it is. The Rockies carry up that way. Yeah.
But don't you? I never think of rattlesnakes being in Canada. And in fact, when I read this, it did say that they have never had a fatal rattlesnake bite in Canada.
Until.
Well, no, it did not. Luckily,
Until the Goonies rode in there.
the kid.
That's right.
That's right. These kids, Chris Demm has dubbed them the Goonies. They're in Lethbridge, Canada, in Alberta, Canada. rode in. We have we have not only one of the teenagers, but also the snake wrangler that was called in to get these rattlesnakes.
As I was going by, like one jumped at me and I was like, oh no, just threw my bike right at it and just ran like 30 feet away. I was so scared. My heart was racing and I was just relief, like a lot of relief, and like, thank God I was not the one or someone didn't get bit.
What you see around you is just writhing, hissing, rattling snakes diving for holes, and it's scary. So the kids jumped off their bikes and ditched them in the den and gave me a call to see if I could come rescue the bikes.
6 kids, 30 snakes in all, diving for their nest and their holes and coming after these kids as well. That voice you heard there is Ryan Diver. He's the ecological consultant known as Rattlesnake Wrangler up in Alberta.
It's good they have one.
He says he's getting busier and busier. When he first started his business, people said, why? He said, you wait. You're going to see
They're
them.
coming.
And the more
30 snakes, 6 kids. That's 5 snakes per kid.
That's right.
Between you and me.
That's
Still
right.
had to let his secretary go.
Yeah.
We're just not getting the calls. They're just not coming in.
I'll answer my own phone.
It'll come here soon.
He's been Canada's rattlesnake wrangler in Alberta for 9 years now, and he says he's never been bitten, but he got one spit venom into his eye last summer. It caused him to lose all his vision.
Spits in Canada. What?
The
Those are
rattlesnake.
cobras,
That's
aren't they?
rude. Yeah, I didn't think rattlesnakes spat.
He said he got venom in his right eye last summer and almost lost his vision. Lost it for a time, but they were able to get his vision back in his right eye.
I had no idea.
He says, I've been around snakes all my life, and constrictors, exotics, etc. Rattlesnakes are tough. I've been studying them for 17 years, and I'm seeing more and more here in Alberta. It's because of the building. He says the buildings are going up there.
I told you my sister in Florida had a snake get in her garage. And I thought it was fascinating because the guy came out and said, oh, if it had been venomous, I wouldn't charge you because they harvest the venom.
He makes money on that.
He makes money on
Yeah,
that.
so I wonder if this guy, wonder if this expert, I bet he makes money off of
We
it.
sell stuff to hospitals and such.
Yeah.
Well, he pulled all 30 of those snakes out of this pit in Canada. Boy, that's got to be tough work, though.
You got to go milk those snakes, though. Good luck.
That's
Maybe
maybe
you put them back?
maybe that's how he got the venom in his eye. I don't know. What do
Yeah.
you do with them after that? After the fact?
I mean, it's their home.
Yeah,
But
they're
you don't
gonna-
want them where kids'
No.
bikes can get to them.
Yeah, if it's a construction area,
It
you're
was.
building stuff around it.
like
Then
the
you
one,
gotta get rid of them.
the one in my sister's garage was not venomous, so they charged her, and she said, well, what are you going to do with it so it doesn't come back? And he said, oh, I'm going to take it out to a nice big field.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Did he wink?
Right.
No, he didn't wink. He said we release them all. We'll take it far away from here, though.
Uh-huh. And release.
No, they take it at the end of the street.
Toss it in the bed of the truck.
Yeah. He got to the end of
Don't
the
worry,
cul-
this snake won't be back to your garage.
He got it to the end of the cul-de-sac, popped it right out of the truck.
I mean, what is policy on that? If you milk their venom out of them so you can make antivenom, do you kill them, keep them, or release them?
I don't know.
I don't either. The best.
But they can still manufacture it, right? If they're still living.
Yeah, they'll
Yeah.
still be
Oh, yeah, they
venomous,
keep
of course.
making it.
The best rattlesnake call I think we've ever gotten was from a P1 in the military who almost got bit, did not get bit, but was in the worst possible position.
I was on military duty down in Fort Stewart, Georgia, and I ate a certain brand of pizza that gives me the trots like right away. So out in the woods, middle of nowhere, I'm looking for a place to do my business, and I find this nice little group of trees. There's 3 trees. I can just drop trowel and lean my fanny up against the trees and take care of my business. And I do that, and I get my nice, comfortable position, and I look down between my legs toward my boots just to make sure that I'm not going to relieve myself on my uniform. And there, coiled up at the base of these 3 trees, is about a 5.5-foot timber rattler that's about as big around as my arm, in a signature S strike pose, ready to bite me in the gooch. If I decide that I'm going to relieve myself.
And
Did you poo on it?
how did you play it? Now I think you've got 1 of 3 out. Do you poo on it?
Poo on it.
Quietly sneak
Hop away.
hop away, or did you run like hell? What did you do?
I ran. Usain Bolt couldn't have caught me. I was like throwing my wipes as I ran, just not knowing what to do. But any good tracker could have followed me because I kind of left the trail of my business through the woods.